Now it's time to channel our inner lumberjack, and we are going to make a texture. Actually, we're going to make several that simulate the appearance of wood grain. And this is kind of a fun one. There are multiple different ways to do this, which is good because there are multiple different types of wood grain that you would see in a video game. There is the just a simple tiled wood grain. There's a wood grain that would go over an entire object that gets into UV mapping, which we haven't talked about. So for right now, we'll just do two. We'll just do a simple wood grain texture, and then we'll do a texture that will be mapped to an object a little bit more complex. We'll do like the entire side of a crate or something like that. If I don't choke to death first. Okay, so let's go ahead and start a simple bit of wood grain here. Um, and yeah, I'll save that for the next one. I already found something I don't like about this. I really wanted this to be longer than it is wide. We'll go ahead and fix that. Just go ahead and do canvas size. Canvas size image, canvas size, and there we go. That gives it more of a plank look. As a matter of fact, let's do that again. And there we go. Much more of a that looks like a 2x4 or something like that, and that could come in later. That could come in handy later when I'm doing the larger texture. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is, I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but we're going to create a some clouds. We're going to use the cloud filter because half the textures in the world start with the cloud texture. So let's get two browns here. There we go. I want them to be significantly different. Matter of fact, they need to be even more different. So I want a lot of good contrast here. Okay, so now again, filter, render, clouds, and yeah, that's probably going to be a good mix. Not quite liking it. It's got a little bit too much yellow in it. Let me try that again. It's got a little bit too much red in it. I can't win for losing. That's almost a mustard yellow there. All right, well, it's either this or that, and I'm going to go with this, and I don't like it much either. Anywho, so what we're going to do next, just going to repeat that filter a couple of times until we get some really good distribution, some good contrast here. There we go. You want lots of good contrast for what's about to happen next, and what's going to happen next. We're going to go to filter, distort, shear. And this is an interesting thing right here. The fact that you get to draw the zigzag line that you want to happen. And in this case, we want very, very intense zigzagging. I'm going to leave the top and the bottom alone for reasons you'll see later here. All right, and that gives you the basics of the wood grain pattern itself, but it's not quite deep enough. So let's just shear it a couple more times, and there we have a serious looking wood grain already. So this is the easy way to do it, and I might go up to hue, saturation, and value to fix this color because I just don't like it. I'm just making it worse. I'm just going to stop. Maybe bring up the saturation just a bit. Yeah, that's what it needs, a little bit more saturation. Okay. Okay. And we're going to make a new layer next. I'm just going to call that noise. Again, always label your labels. Let's try it again. Always label your layers, give them names. I know I'm kind of bad at that myself. And this time, we're just going to create hello. We're going to create clouds again. This time with black and white. And then we're going to go to noise. We're going to add some noise here. That's pretty good, but that's what I usually use for star fields. So let's bring it up just a little bit. Notice, yeah, that gives us a lot more depth going on here. Notice my settings, I've got it set on 50. In this case, I'm going to try uniform instead of Gaussian. And of course, monochromatic. I don't want a whole bunch of reds and greens and oranges and purples. So we'll leave it like that. But what we're going to do next is we're going to go to another filter. We're going to go to blur, and we're going to go to motion blur. We're going to set the angle to 0, and that's probably a bit much here. Let's try 50. Yeah, maybe even 30. Yeah, 30 looks good. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take this layer, the noise layer, we're going to set it to either actually let's try, nope, last but not least, well, one or the other, soft light or multiply, whichever you prefer, whichever one you get the best feeling for. Where did my color burn go? Anyhow, all kinds of fun things you can do here. Well, I'm just going to stop with soft light. So there is a wooden plank that you can use. Again, you can go down here to the background. I'm going to still kind of mess with this just a little bit and mess with my hue. And yeah, add a little bit more of the hardware, Lowe's lumber, Home Depot lumber look to it. Give it a little bit more yellow. Then go to my levels. I might darken it a bit. Ah, there we go. There it is. And that, folks, is a 2x4. And now we all sing the Monty Python I'm a Lumberjack song, and then it is officially ready to go.